Okay, I'm about to show you how to put your Xbox back together after you've taken it apart. In my video on how to take it apart, I did not take the motherboard out, so if you didn't do that, you're not going to have to do these first couple steps of screwing in the motherboard. But if you watch my video on how to customize your shell, you're going to have to do this. So the first step is to get your motherboard. Make sure you've got it going in the right way. I find it easiest to get the power, audio, and Ethernet, point it downwards, and then slide the side that's towards you in afterwards. And then flip it over. And the first thing you're going to want to do is get these mounts, these tiny black screws for the heatsink X clamps. You're going to want to put those in first. I'm using a T9 torx screw. They work on every screw in this Xbox. Some people tell you that you need a smaller torx screw head for the black screws that I'm about to do, but I have had a T9 work for me every time, so I really don't care what they say. Okay, that should have been 8 screws going into the X clamp mounts, and after that the motherboard should, stay in place, and you can move on to these screws, not the long ones, but the other ones that go around. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these smaller screws. T9 head will still work on these. And put them in all the holes around the outside except for the ones where the long screws go in, which you'll get used to it if you do this a lot. They'll be in a row, 2 rows. There's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Those are the long screws. Just put these in all the other screws. Okay, once you get the motherboard mounted in, pretty much everything but the long screws, you're going to want to flip it over and put the guts of your machine back inside. I always start out with the fan. Don't put this plug in before you put it in there, because it might resist you and you might snap off some plastic or bend something or hear something snap and it might freak you out. So just put this in there's 2 holes that these pegs will fit into. Put them in the holes and then lift up on this. Sometimes these holes don't want to cooperate. There we go. Lift up on that metal guard right here and they should just pop into place. And then you can clip the fan's power source in. Power source should be right there. You might not have this big one. The newer ones, the Elite boxes, and some of the newer Pro versions have a 3-prong, but it's in the same place. After that, we're going to need to put the white fan shroud in. It's in the other room. Hold on. Okay, like I said, you're going to want to put this white fan shroud in next. This hump goes over the larger heatsink, just slightly, and the hole that's right here is going to line up with a copper-looking hole right there. If you don't line that up, the screw is not going to fit in, and you're going to have a hard time later. So line those up. Next, you're going to put your CD tray in. DVD tray. Better technology than that. Power cord goes in there. It's going to be a white plug, and you'll have a black SATA cord that goes right next to it. Just pop it in there. This leg is going to go into a hole in your fan shroud in this corner right here. Just make sure it slides in, and you should be okay. Down here, something to note, your CD or DVD tray is not going to fit if these 2 black pegs right here, if they don't go in the holes, that means it's not going to fit, and it's going to look awkward when you put the rest of the shell together. So make sure that the 2 black pegs on the bottom of your DVD tray are in the holes that are on this metal case. Next, you're going to want to put your ring of light back on. It's just called the ring of light because it has the LEDs that light up and red rings of death and whatnot. It's just called the ring of light. There's a plug on the front of your motherboard. It's just going to pop in. As long as you've screwed down the motherboard nice and tight, that's not going to resist you in any way. There's 3 black screws that are just like these X-clamp screws that we did back there, same kind of screws that you're going to use to screw down this ring of light. Now that you've got your ring of light, your DVD tray, your fan shroud, and your fan screwed into place along with the motherboard secured to the bottom of the metal pan, you're going to want to put this white clip, and sometimes if you've had your Xbox repaired, a lot of crappy technicians will leave this out, so you might not have this, but most of the time you do. Just pop it on right there. There's a little nub. There's arrows that point towards the top, so point it towards that way and the little nub will come out to the right. Then you're going to want to put the top of your Xbox on. It's the one with the metal pan or the one that you cut your design out of. I take out the metal pan when I cut my designs out, and half the time when I don't cut my designs out, just because I don't like that metal pan being in there. I don't like putting it back together with it on. Don't ask me why. I don't really have any reasoning. But there will be a bigger gap for your DVD tray on this part of the case. Fit it over. There's a few things to look for. Like right here, it did not line up correctly because the plastic came out too far. The plastic is supposed to be snug inside of this metal notch. And it might be hard to see, but when you're doing it yourself, you should be able to look at it. You want that white plastic notch to go inside the metal notch. So I take it off again and scoot it back a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but the plastic notch is now behind the metal notch and it fits a lot snugger. So once you know that you've done that, my camera cut off on me there for a second. Like I was saying, flip it over, and at this point you want to take your 6 screws. You're going to want to put them in those remaining holes that I told you not to put the other screws into. Alright, now you have your top of the Xbox screwed onto the metal pan. Before you put the other side on, remember, because I always do, I always forget this part, always put this eject button on. There's 2 notches right here that this notch will go into. And then there's a couple of holes on this piece right here that will fit on these 2 knobs. So just pop it into place. Make sure you hear a clicking sound. The button that controls the eject is right here. Make sure that it's clicking, and then you're ready to put the other side of your box on. Look at where your DVD tray is, and you'll see that this is where the power button goes, and this is where the longer DVD tray figure looking thing goes. I just slide it halfway on. I pop these 4 notches first, and then I flip it over to the back side, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things to click into place. You won't hear them all because they usually click all at once. So as long as you hear the clicking going, should be good. Shake it, it's not going to come off. So at this point, you want to turn it on its top side, put this grid back on. You'll know that it's the top grid because it has the hole for the hard drive. So just line it up, snap it down. Should go pretty flush inside of there. Same thing on the bottom. Only if you want to do this technically correct, this will fit both ways, but the technically correct way to do it is there's a little bitty cut right here that isn't on the other side. That cut is facing the front of your Xbox near your power button, and that's the way it's technically going to fit best. If you fit it the other way, it might be bent a little bit. And all you do is put your faceplate back on. All you have to do is snap it down, and you're done. Okay, this is the monster box that I did in my last video. As you can see, I painted some of it green, some of it black. And the inside, I painted the DVD tray black, and I also cut it open. There's a few things that are on this box that I didn't show you how to do in the video. Cutting open the DVD tray, I put some LED lights inside of it, and cutting open the hard drive so you can actually see the hard drive. I just couldn't do it all in 10 minutes, so I'm going to make another video when I do another one on those specific mods, but I will show you. Like I said, I put LEDs inside of it, so I'll show you those.